a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can do this. I quit. That's it. I'm done.
There you
No,
go.
that seems right. Yeah. As long as it gets recorded on here, right? We just need it.
All right, everybody. You may receive the 5,000. We're gonna get started. We're gonna get started. All right. Apologies for the delay, here we had a bit of trouble setting this test. So I'll call this meeting to order at 8:16 p.m. And we'll begin with our first attendance roll call, so when your name is called, please indicate your presence. Starting Senator Asuczoom. Here. Senator O'Brien. Here. Senator Beardsley.
I was here.
Senator Ken.
Here.
Senator Cho. Here. Senator Representative Miguel. President Senator Golshani. Here. Senator Macaro.
Here.
Senator Raymond. Senator Raymond, not present. Senator Mendez. Here. Senator Nunez Rivera. Here. Senator Rodarte. Here. Senator Santos. Here. Senator Scott. Here. Senator Solomon. Here. Senator Stanley. Not present. Senator Reading.
Here.
Senator Daran. Here. Senator Ty. Here. Senator Schwed. Here. Senator Yang. Here. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to recognition of Owen Event. The ACC recognizes that UC Berkeley sits on the territory of Houston, the original landscape of the Chicano-speaking Ohlone people, the successors of the sovereign Vernon Band of Alameda County. This region continues to be a great importance to the Ohlone tribe and other familial descendants of the Roman Band. We recognize that every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since the institution's founding in 1868. Consistent with our values of community, inclusion, and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationships to these. As members of the Berkeley community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history, the land on which we stand, but also we recognize that the Mwekma Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members of the Berkeley and broader Bay Area community. Alright, now we'll move on to adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor for tonight's agenda?
I motion to amend the agenda.
Posted.
I motion to move SR 2526-87 from new business to immediate consideration.
From new business, it's on new business already?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Do you need a roll call? Okay. So Senator Schwed moves to move, the SR 2527 from new business to immediate consideration. This is gonna need a roll call vote, so I'm gonna call on senators to vote. If you say aye, that means you're in favor of moving the resolution to immediate consideration, and if you say nay, if you're not in favor, abstain is abstain. All right, everyone ready? Starting with Senator Nusi.
Aye.
Senator O'Brien. Aye. Senator Beardsley.
Aye.
Senator Cannon.
Aye.
Senator Cho. Aye. Representative Miguel. Not present, abstaining. Senator Golshani. Aye. Senator Macaro.
Aye.
Senator Naaman. Not present, abstaining. Senator Mendez.
Aye.
Senator Nunez Rivera.
Aye.
Senator Rodarte.
Aye.
Senator Santos.
Aye.
Senator Scott.
Aye.
Senator Solomon.
Aye.
Senator Stanley. Not present, abstaining. Senator Reading.
Aye.
Senator Daran.
Aye.
Senator Ty.
Aye.
Senator Schwed.
Aye.
Senator Yang.
Aye.
All right, so that needed 2/3. I believe we got 2/3 with that. So the agenda will be amended to reflect that change. Is there any other motion for it?
Can I motion to move SR 2526 79 to immediate consideration?
Okay, Senator Beardsley moves to move SR 252679 from consent calendar to immediate consideration. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Musi. Any objections? All right, seeing and hearing none, that will be moved to consent calendar. All right, is there a motion on the floor? Yes.
Yes, can I get a motion from Senator for moving consideration of temporary suspension of AC bylaw showing 5176 to consideration?
All right. So are you motioning or does that need to be adopted by Senator?
It's gonna be so moved.
So moved by Senator Beardsley, is there a second? Seconded by Senator Yang, any objections? All right, seeing and hearing none, that change will be reflected. Any other motions on the floor? Yes,
I motion to extend general public comment from 20 minutes to 30.
Senator Solomon moves to extend general public comment from 20 to 30 minutes. Wait, from 20 to 30 minutes, or you're adding 3 minutes?
Adding 10 minutes.
Adding 10 minutes, okay. Seconded by Senator Todd. Any objections? All right, seeing and hearing none, that will pass. All right. Any other motions on the floor?
I move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Senator Ty moves to adopt the agenda as amended, seconded by Senator Daran. Any objections? Alright, seeing here none, agenda has been adopted as amended. Alright, so our first item today is guest announcements, so we have some guests from the governor's office and sage strategies here to present, so let's give them a warm welcome. You wanna do your laptop? Yeah. Yes, you'll have 5 minutes to go, but if you need more time. send them. Yeah, that's fine. You can figure it out.
Good afternoon, good evening, actually. On behalf of California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, we thank you for your time and the opportunity to share some information on the Reduce the Risk campaign. My name is Victoria. I work with Sage Strategies, which is actually a consulting firm out of Sacramento, and we're partnered with California Governor's Office of Emergency Services on this campaign. Part of my work, I work with Raphael, leading the Youth Advisory Council, so it is leading this presentation for you today. Just to give a little content warning, this presentation does include mention of firearm violence and firearm related injuries and legal interventions such as gun violence and protection orders. Some of this material may be distressing, so please take care of your well-being and step away. So a quick overview of the presentation today. We will give an overview of the Reduce Risk campaign as well as the Youth Advisory Council. We will cover some gun violence statistics across the state as well as the effects on youth. We will talk about the problem, which is public awareness and understanding. Then we'll get into what gun violence protection orders are, how to file them, your role in gun violence prevention, and how you can get involved. So a little bit about the Reduce the Risk campaign. The Reduce the Risk campaign is an education effort led by the California's Office of California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and it is an educational campaign to prevent gun violence. The campaign has been led by research and community-informed insight. We have 2 advisory councils, like I mentioned, the Youth Advisory Council that's made up of college students around California that have worked in gun violence prevention, and our Champions Advisory Council, which is made up of individuals, professionals in the field, whether it be police officers, mental health professionals, etc. And overall, the campaign is working to educate Californians on the 9 protection orders available to them to help save lives. And for this session, we will particularly be focusing on gun violence restraining orders and how college students like you can play a role in ending gun violence. So our campaign's goals the campaign has evolved over time, but the goals have remained the same. And they include saving lives by reducing firearm violence, including self-harm, keeping communities safe by empowering Californians with the tools available to them, and directing people to our website to find those tools, which is reducetherisk.ca.gov, which you can see on the materials that we passed out, as well as later on in this campaign, in this presentation. Our overall goal is to educate Californians on how to use these tools effectively. Like I mentioned, I lead the Youth Advisory Council, which Raphael is a part of, so I'll let him take over this part of the presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raphael. Like Victoria mentioned, I'm part of the California Youth Advisory Council. And so the council is made up of 10 students and recent graduates from across the state. And we're all working to combat gun violence. And so here's an important quote from one of our members, Maxwell Martinez, who is a survivor himself. So the quote says, "The Youth Advisory Council plays a vital role in shaping real solutions to gun violence by bringing the voices of those directly impacted into the conversation." So now let's dive a little deeper into gun state. So California actually has one of the lowest gun death rates in the country, ranking 45th in the nation. And the state accounts for just 7% of firearm deaths in the United States. It also ranks 29th in firearm homicides and 44th in firearm suicide deaths. Still, over 3,000 people die every year from gun violence. On this slide, you can see some of the information related to those deaths. So let's get into some statistics and facts specifically about gun violence on the youth. In 2022, youth in our state who had access to firearms were nearly 2 times more likely to have made a suicide attempt in their life. And 8.4% of youth in our state who attempted suicide reported having access to guns in their home. It is clear that when firearms are present, there is an increased level of danger and likelihood of suicide for our generation in California. We know that school shootings have a devastating impact on communities, but especially on the students that survive. The trauma they carry can affect their lives forever, including students in 10th and 11th grade being less likely to graduate from high school, enroll in college, and obtain a bachelor's. It's pretty clear that gun violence restraining orders save lives, but the issue is that gun violence restraining orders are not effective when the public does not know about them or how to use them. Understanding this lack of education is critical because we know they work, but they only work when people know that they work. And that's why we need to be educating everyone today. And so as part of Reduce the Risk, we conducted a statewide survey to gauge the level of awareness and understanding of these protection orders. And what we found was that 70% of Californians are aware that the state has some sort of gun removal laws. 70% of people knew about DVROs, as opposed to only 30% of people who knew about GVROs. 79% of Californians surrounding these tools, and 77% said they would consider access to this information. The good news is that California has legislation in place that makes us 25% less likely to die in mass shootings compared to people in other states. So we quickly want to highlight California's protection orders effectiveness. Coming from a study from GVROs between 2016 and 2018 have been used to help prevent 58 threats and mass shootings in California. As we noted, it is also the only protection order that helps prevent suicide. This is particularly important to our generation. Most suicide attempts are compulsive, with more than 40% occurring 10 minutes or less between the first thought of self-harm and the attempt. With access to a handgun, the likelihood of death increases. Taking this into account really underscores why we are bringing youth into this campaign.
Somebody, it's gonna need a motion to extend your time.
I'm going to extend time about 5 minutes. I said it.
Senator time moves to extend time by 5 minutes, seconded by Senator Lightfoot. Any objections?
Yeah, taking this into account really underscores why we're bringing attention to the youth into this campaign. If you and I know about these tools, not only can we recognize risks in our peers, but we can continue educating other people, creating a network of others equipped with the knowledge to save others. Now we want to give you a breakdown of what these California's gun violence protection orders are and why they're so important for young people. So California has 9 types of protection orders in place. And we'll dive more deeply into the details of the differences later, but the advantages all remain the same. So a GVRO, or gun violence restraining order, allows certain people to ask a judge to order an individual's firearm be temporarily confiscated from them. GVROs initially last up to 21 days, but a petitioner can refile for an extension of 1 to 5 years. And during that time, the individual is barred from having or buying guns, bullets, or magazines. Its purpose is to give people time to stop and get help if they might hurt themselves earlier. It is, as I mentioned, the only protection order that helps prevent suicide. As I mentioned, GVROs are a tool for everyone to have in their back pocket, ready to be used to possibly save lives. And so, as on this slide, you can see some of the reasons someone can petition for a GVRO. It is important to recognize some key warning signs when it comes to gun violence. When someone is in trouble, family and friends may notice the signs first. Seeing these signs can help stop gun violence. Some of these signs include suddenly cutting ties with family or friends, showing intense anger or acting out of control, making threats towards others, talking about self-harm or harming others, bullying behavior, boasting about having access to guns. And now that we've emphasized the importance, now I want to show you how to file GVROs. So the process of filing for a GVRO may seem daunting at first, but we have worked hard to simplify the process and make it more accessible to all Californians. All required documents to file a GVRO are available online at all county superior courts. We have linked it here. Additionally, law enforcement is equipped with the knowledge to file a GVRO or assist you in filing a GVRO. We also offer a local resource connection finding tool on our website. Users can simply plug in the zip code and receive protection order filing help in their area. So I know we've shared a lot of information with you all today, but we'd also like to share what you all can do to help. Please feel free to share these resources with your colleagues, or refer your colleagues for training of their own. Visit our website and subscribe for updates. Lastly, consider how you can start to implement DVRs in your county to prevent gun violence in cases of a self-harm. You can also find this information on all of our posters and informational sheets.
Awesome. Any questions from the senators? All right, thank you all so much for being here. All right, so at this time, our next public comments. So, just setting some like expectations, rules. So if you're interested in giving public comment, you can come line up on this side. Since it seems like we have a good amount of public comment, I'm gonna be like strict on the time today. So it's 2 minutes per public comment, and I'll tap my gavel when you're at 15 seconds because I want everyone to be able to share who would like to give public comment. So you cannot yield your time, and this portion of the meeting is dedicated to general matters relating to the ASCC, and public comments relating to items on the consent calendar or immediate consideration may not be made at this time and are reserved for later in the meeting. The Senate reserves the right to cut off speakers who have exceeded their allotted time, interrupt speakers who are discussing matters related to items on the consent calendar or immediate consideration, or remove members of the general public from the meeting if they constitute a serious disruption to the orderly conduct of Senate proceeding. So we'll have people come up one by one here to make public comment. Once again, I'll tap my gavel when you're at 15 seconds left, and then tap it again if you reach the 2-minute mark. And feel free to introduce yourself and your relationship to the University Hall.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Fain, and I'm a resident of Berkeley of about 30 years. And I wanted to tell you that when I was about your age, I was in the university. And at that time, the Vietnam War was raging, and protests were everywhere in the country. And most notably, I witnessed Mario Savio here, right around the corner, implementing the free speech movement that was just amazing for the whole country. So in trying to reignite that flame of resistance to tyranny, I'm here on behalf of Berkeley Invisible. They're a national organization. There's a march coming up on the 28th of March. No King's March, we call that. And what I ask of all you senators and all of you people that are here tonight is to please come and march on the 28th. Now, I know that that's the end of your school break. You may not be here physically at Berkeley, but there are marches throughout the country. And if you go to nokings.org, you can find a march in wherever you're living at the time. The reason this is important is because the last time we marched, we had 7 billion people marching across the country. This time we're looking for 11 million people. The importance of that is that research shows that if 3.5% of the population actively protests against the tyranny that we're witnessing in our country today, the regime will fail. So we have to show this country and the world that we are not all in line with what's going on in this country. So again, please march, please get the word out to all your friends. There's some flyers up here on the table, so on your way out, feel free to grab one of those. I really appreciate the time and look forward to all of your support.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Nine Vale, Committee on Student Fees. I must have been up here a dozen times by now, but still doing stage fright. Anyways, today I wanted to bring up a new event that the Committee on Student Fees is hosting, our Student Fee Forum, on April 9th from 3 to 5 p.m. The objective of this is to recognize that not everyone at Berkeley knows of all the resources that they could otherwise access and use for all the amazing ideas that they have, and to connect groups that may not know about these resources to groups that have resources and can use them. So to this end, we'll be bringing speakers from Division of Student Affairs. Vice Chancellor Steve Sutton was here just a couple of weeks ago. We'll also have Cruz Grimaldo, the Director of Financial Aid, as well as your very own Executive Vice President and President speaking at the event, members from the GA and members from the large grant giving committees across campus, just to give people an opportunity to understand kind of how many opportunities are available for them to receive funding or just receive any other form of support for their projects across campus. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could share this RSVP link with members of your community or anyone you think would be interested in this opportunity. It's tinyurl.com/student fee forum, no caps, no spaces, and I'm pretty sure I spelled it correctly. So thank you very much, and I won't use any more of your time.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. I've spoken to you guys a few times before on one of the managers of superb. I'm speaking right now to clarify why we're standing up for the proposed referendum in support of the AMP initiative. You can see my managers all around here and one of our interns back there. I want to start with a quote that a senator made to Daily Cal regarding our referendum. Quote, "This was proposed on a Monday. The first time I saw it was 8 p.m. in a committee meeting, and then we were already voting on it Wednesday." End quote. I presented to the ASUC Senate our intention, timeline, and overview to submit the AMP referendum as part of my charter official report on December 3rd of last year. I can resend those slides as needed. Since that date, we've been working with Margaret Solomon, one of your fellow senators, to present a thoughtful and clear case of increased funding. We did not need to talk to anyone else. Nowhere does it clearly state that the vote by the Senate must occur before the filing period closes, so the timeline issue is moved. Imagine my disappointment when this did not pass. Imagine my frustration behind an Instagram post insinuating that this failure was due to Superb's disorganization, when in fact our communication was great, our collaboration was sincere, and our goal was to support our amazing student body. In addition, after the vote, we should have been given more than 20 hours to get the signatures of the 10% of the student body that were given this choice. Cal students deserve the right to vote on this referendum this year, right now. The social media posts by some senators are not only misrepresenting the actual sequence of events, they are lying about our efforts, intent, and the substantial work we presented, and for that, we demand a public apology immediately while respectfully requesting our asset in full. In the future, when vital campus organizations are presenting their official reports, it would behoove senators to be more proactive listeners, saving computer time for outside the weekly meetings. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Izzy Kim, and I'm the other general manager for Superb. I want to talk about how frustrated we are with the differences in the way that the Senate and various senators conducted themselves this past week versus the expectations for Superb. Given that what took place last week happened within a closed Senate session, we were unable to speak to anything directly that happened, even though we were informed, and various senators, on the other hand, released statements about us, highlighting a clear power imbalance and desire to keep the student body, as well as us, uninformed. As a note, Senator Beardsley, your statement to the Daily Cal that we had committed campaign violations is also something that cannot be stated until a judicial review takes place and decisions are made. So maybe check your own rollbook first. Additionally, we were left completely in the dark about the ASUC senators' plans for the student fee referendum next year. Your statements against us have labeled us as uncommunicative, when truthfully, we had no idea of your plans to do this and would have very much appreciated knowing so that we could have our restructure our own ideas for our funding timeline and explain to you exactly why we need the funding that we're requesting now. In fact, Lucette has spent the majority of this past year doing that very thing. So for us to be labeled as untrustworthy or not in compliance is disheartening. Truthfully, we would have been fine if our referendum had went to the ballot and students had decided not to pass the addition, because that would be an accurate representation of what students on campus want. However, the fact that through a closed Senate session, 19 individuals decided that this would not be the case is again disappointing and anti-student when students historically have been given this choice. You knew that you weren't going to vote this through and wasted our organization's time and resources, which we could have spent focusing on getting other funding resources or getting ahead of signature signing. Clearly, with 8.2% of the undergraduate student body signing on within 20 hours, the students want this referendum on the ballot. Finally, I want to highlight how the ASUC labeled our funding proposal as risky.
Risk here is not for you to decide. Any risk you are accounting for is a risk to you personally and not to the student body. Try to give the students their autonomy and their decision making ahead of your own personal agendas.
We can't answer that, like, let's like try to keep moving on. Hello everyone, I'm Danielle Almer, the assistant manager of film, and I just wanted to express our collective dissatisfaction with your decision to vote against us. Placing our recommend on the district ballot, I specifically want to call out Senator Tina Mendez and Sarah Friend who are actively collaborating and benefiting not only the film department, but also our marketing, SNAPE, and arts and design department. We are extremely disappointed with your decision to vote against us, knowing that your offices reached out to us and not the other way around. I find it disheartening that y'all know how important it is for students to have free and accessible access to the arts and live entertainment, yet vote against us to be on the ballot. I want to point out that one of the many reasons Superb is popular amongst students is because it brings people together. And it is not your job as well for us to serve and build communities. Voting against Superb is a disservice to students as it completely destroys the opportunities for students to meet and connect with new people.
Hello, my name is Yasmin. I'm one of the other managers, specifically content managers for the Superb. I am solely speaking from the content perspective. This decision will cause a whole class of voters that have experienced prime Superb or peak Superb. And also you're not giving the student body a chance to even choose to voice their thoughts about this price change. We have been under constant criticisms from the student body, wondering why we can't bring people like Malcolm Todd, like UCSB can. And it feels very selfish for those who voted against us for the Senate to make a decision on behalf of 45,000 students. Fun fact, did you know that we are the only university that doesn't charge for events? Did you know that we're the only school that does host around 8 concerts per year, and while others do 2 concerts per year, and also charge them $15 to $20 per student? Mind you, we don't ask for donations because we prioritize free accessible art for all students. Although we didn't have names like Don Tolliver, our mission is to bring artists to their prime and on their come up. For instance, Reagan LeMay, Mike Scher, Orion Felton, Duran Bernard recently won Host Grammy, and we were able to get a discount because it was for the Black community. And the Dare, all artists that have gotten extremely big after our show and go to popular festivals like Outside Land, Coachella, and Lollapalooza, excuse me. Speaking of the Dare, it's funny how the senators used to purge for events like Coachella when it becomes beneficial for you. You profit off of our events without contributing a dime, and yet you are working against us. We are here to provide an outlet for students to create memories and spaces outside of stressful exams, classes, even the political and economic state of the world right now. So my question is my question is, for those who voted against Superb, are you willing to sacrifice that? Because if you are, maybe you should reconsider your relationship with us, because we don't want to work with people who make hypocritical decisions. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Megan. I'm one of the comedy managers in Superb. I've been a part of the club since I graduated fall, and as graduating senior this semester, I can say that I am undoubtedly disappointed and angered at the approach to the ACC, especially the senators in terms they have taken in terms of Superb referendum. As fluid is and everyone else defends, this has not only been a tremendously confusing process, but the exertion of authority and gross misuse of power is something that I'm frankly quite disgusted by. For context, I've been directing all Superb's budget and programming since my sophomore year, as I was promoted to assistant manager and later manager my junior year. So I want to assert that I know how these budgets work, and I know how these budgets are slowly starting to fail our programming departments and internal departments alike. And I want to make myself clear, I'm not speaking here today to benefit myself. I'm not going to be in Superb once this referendum passes, and I'm not going to experience the benefits of them firsthand. So honestly, I don't feel the consequences of your ultimate decision and gross miscommunication. But you know who will feel these effects? My career management team, the student body, and frankly, you all. I love this club and its mission because it's uniquely centered around the students. It's programmed for the students, by the students. We provide free merch, free events, etc., all for the purpose of bringing entertainment and a safe space to this campus.
However, over the years, my experience of bringing talent has only become more and more difficult. It is a shame that money is a central problem in these universities. Because of our lack of financial power compared to other universities, we've experienced changes where talent has felt more comfortable backing out affordably given agreements, essentially bringing us along with the promise of contract. But can't last minute because we offer significantly less than other schools in terms of budget. Just in our recent event with Jackson alone, he told us that he was offered, I think, 25K by Indiana University, and we offered him 12.5K. That is a really substantial amount of budget that we were giving for this event. And instead of allocating more efforts to programming an event that would run smoothly and effectively, we have to focus mostly on presentations. And I want to emphasize this process of sourcing talent is only getting harder and more expensive. I'm glad that we've been able to program for the events and bring the comedy scene to Berkeley, but I'm gonna say it's probably not gonna last any longer if you continue to neglect this, if you continue to see that it's not important, so please consider it.
Hello, my name is Micah. I am one of the other managers for concerts. So I want to start out by thanking the 9 senators that supported us with the referendum. None of you, nothing is directed towards y'all. We really appreciate you guys advocating for us. To the 10 that elected your table to next year, I had a clarifying question about one of the posts that was recently put up. What detrimental implication would increasing student costs by $8 pose, especially when those who receive financial aid will be fully covered? And when we consider last year, potentially Bay Pass was maybe it wasn't emergency action, but it posed $124 in cost increase to students. In less than 24 hours, we were able to achieve 2,500 signatures, roughly less than 600 signatures from what was needed for the referendum to appear on the ballot, indicating clear student support. And I'm just especially disappointed that we didn't give students the opportunity to vote, especially for the 2 senators that we collaborated with in the fall on our CLSD concert. I was disappointed to see that you guys did not support us because you understood firsthand the difficulty and limitations that our current budget created in securing artists for that event. And on top of that, a lot of the students within that community gave us a lot of negative feedback about the artists and saying that it wasn't representative of what students wanted to see in that particular community. So I'm just disappointed overall that we failed to represent the general student body and what they want.
Hi everyone, my name is Abby and I'm one of the assistant managers for Superb Sneak Previews department. And I've been a part of Superb since my freshman year at Berkeley, but I've also been a part of the ASUC since my sophomore year. Last year I worked in Sondy's EAVP office, and this year I served as Senator Clyde's chief of staff, which is why I'm especially disappointed that you guys as a Senate chose to table a referendum. Being a part of the ASUC for the past 2 years, I've learned how important community is to each and every single one of you. I've been a part of it myself, but Superb is exactly the same in that aspect. Past couple of years, I've been assisting with Superb programming. I've seen how essential and necessary our events are. For my department specifically, we've had RSVP lines that have gone around the block for our film screenings, and at a handful of these events, we've had to turn away students because every single seat in the theater was full. This has proven to me how the student body craves fun events like this that are free of cost, and it truly saddens me that our efforts to keep producing high-quality events won't even be given the chance to have the students vote for this election cycle. At a moment in time where the arts as a whole are extremely vulnerable, I've been so grateful for my time at Superb to be able to work with and meet so many other people who love movies as much as I do. Superb has given me the opportunities that I would not have had otherwise, like giving students free access to see award-winning movies like Sentimental Value, which won an Oscar the other night, and Anora, who won Best Picture last year, where he also brought Sean Baker, award-winning director, to come give a Q&A. All free of cost, mind you. So I hope that the Senate class really reflects on your decision and how much this has hurt the student body that you guys claim to represent. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Kim, and I serve as one of the marketing managers for ASUC Superb. I've been in Superb since my freshman year, so I've had the incredible honor and privilege of being part of a community that has undeniably been a cornerstone of Berkeley campus. I'm going to keep this short. As a non-programming department, I will acknowledge that our department is not the most jeopardized by the ASUC Senate's decision to strike down Superb's AMP referendum. However, as someone responsible for maintaining the organization's brand image and online presence, it's safe to say that I, along with my team and the greater Superb, am sincerely reconsidering ties with ASUC offices for promoting any future events and cross collaborations on our platforms in light of recent events. To be frank, this past week has been nothing short of disappointing to see, hear, and experience. Even standing here before you senators, as a fellow student and representative under the ASUC branch is disheartening. We are all responsible for preserving and improving student life, and your vote last week robbed the student body of the opportunity to make that decision for themselves. Our team has taken pride and joy in promoting any and all on-campus events, even including some of yours, to thousands of students every single day. Setting Senate politics aside and everything else aside, we're now being majorly restricted in our capacity and ability to deliver the events that Berkeley students deserve. I sincerely hope that this year-long delay will be worth it, because if it doesn't, it'll be very clear who that shortcoming will reflect on. Thank you for your time and attention.
Hello everyone, my name is Paris. I'm a marketing manager along with Michelle. And I've had the opportunity to work with some of y'all in political spaces. I just wanted to give some words on my experience and perspective through this process. So last Thursday, we were given the update that Superb would not be present on the ballot as a result of senator decisions on the matter. I was told that petition signatures could overturn the decision and help you all reconsider. I had to drop everything and work to earn those signatures, make graphics, gather content, and spam our socials. This situation added hours of stress and work to my role that was completely unnecessary. Regardless of whether or not you believe Superb deserves more funding, at least funding that compares to other universities, I want to point out a simple observation I've made while working adjacently to the ACC. Time and time again, I've seen with my own eyes that ACC senators are often uncommunicative, untrustworthy, and are rarely equipped to support student needs. As a result, I have advised our organization to no longer collaborate with ACC senators in the future. There's no point in us giving all our clout if we cannot even receive basic communication and correct guidance throughout this process. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I hope the situation can allow for reflection among all parties. Thank you for your time. Hi, I'm Karina with Photobeats. Before I begin, I noticed one of the senators laughing while some of my colleagues were speaking, so please let me something about that. Okay. During my time here at Superb, I think the thing that I did most important and grateful for resources. Coming from Stockton, a very, very undeserving city, yet full of people, community, and passion, resources were scarce. My school didn't give our students access to things like cameras, computer labs, and platforms like Adobe, and more so they didn't see the reason in prioritizing fundings for things like such. Coming to Berkeley, being in spaces like Superb and BSN, it's giving me access to all of these resources that fuel things that I'm passionate about. And it's given my interns in photo department access to things like this. We currently only have 2 cameras for students to borrow. Cameras are expensive, they're upwards of $1,000, and some people don't have the funds to buy that on their own. By having access to this, I was able to delve into my passions in photo, video, and the arts, something that should be emphasized, especially during a time like this. Blocking and expansion of funding like this not only limit us from growing the resources available to our current interns, but it also limits the amount of people we can take into the department. Right now, the interest is there. Students want to be a part of this. They want to be a part of Superb. They want to learn. They want to create. We physically don't have enough equipment to support them. And that means that people get turned away, not because they lack passion or because they don't have talent, but because we lack the resources to give to them. This isn't just about cameras, it's about access and equity. Without investing in resources like this, we're closing doors to passions and voices that deserve to be seen and heard. So I urge you, just as the student body voted yes to have each and every one of you sit in these very seats and be our senators, the student body should have the chance to decide on their own whether or not to vote yes on this.
Any other members of the public that would like to take public comment? All right, then we'll move on to responding. Oh, no.
Hi guys, my name is Kristen. Nice to meet you. Can I have Senator Ogunwusi, sorry if I said your name wrong, Albright, Beardsley, Cho, Memon, Mendez, Scott, Taryn, Sue, and Yang, please identify themselves or say hi at least. Hi, so nice to meet you. I was on the website of, let's see here. The UC Berkeley Student Leadership and Engagement website, and I was, scrolling down and I saw that under ASUC, you guys have on your about section, you guys are 20-member ASUC Senate, and it's a legislative branch of the city government. You represent the voice of UC Berkeley. He controls the ACC 2 million budget, and he worked on a variety of issues such as campus safety, healthcare, affordability of education, and improving academic services. I'm just confused as to why you guys voted against having a line of communication with students on this upcoming ballot. I just want to know how many of you guys are studying politics, legal studies, anything of that sort. I wanted to know how does this reflect anything that is democratic in any type of way. You're representing students, you're here in your seats, and you're calling yourself a senator, but you're not reflecting anything of our perspectives. If you join NICAP, you see that the club superb gets all the keys. And for you guys to sever a line of communication with students that hold you guys accountable for the actions of us not having the money to deliver the services that we want to deliver, it keeps you guys from being accountable and it puts all the blame on us. So I just want to know where is this coming from? Because we want to deliver like proper programs. We want to bring out what you are like asking for, but you guys don't let us find what is the ability to decide how our funds are being used. And I'm just curious as to why you think that's democratic and why you call yourself a senator.
Response to general public comments, so, just like some ground rules. Now it's response to general public comments, so senators will have 2 minutes, to give responses. And we're not allowed to like do like back and forth question, so it's just a general response to, anything you'd like to speak on that you heard during the public conversation. And I saw Senator Reading's hand first, is there a microphone nearby? I think there's one right there next to Senator Albright. Or yeah, Senator Reed. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. And I'll be timing your responses, so I'll tap my gavel when you guys are 15 seconds left.
I first off want to start by saying thank you so much to Superb and everyone at Cage today to show your support for Superb, and most importantly, your frustration and disappointment with the ACC. I promise you that I am just as frustrated and disappointed as you guys. I am sorry that our Senate class has failed you. The most disappointing thing about this, if anyone here does not know, this ref that did not pass was simply to just get the ref on the ballot this year, not even to pass the ref as a student feat in the Senate. I believe in an honest and true representative democracy where our student body should have a say in what they want on our campus. This certainly did not happen because the student body did not even get a chance to vote on this referendum. There was no democracy at play here at all. Instead, some senators allowed their own political agendas to get in the way of actually representing the student body on our campus, and for that I am deeply sorry. As senators, it is not our job to fight for the ACC, it is our job to fight for the students. Considering in a matter of hours, we're able to get approximately 2,500 students to sign a petition to get this referendum added to the ballot should speak volumes. This should be the truest testament to the importance of having this ref on the ballot. By the way, if you guys didn't know, 2,500 votes is more than 8 times the amount of student votes that us senators got to get us in. So I hope everyone here knows that Superb did not fail. In fact, they greatly succeeded, in my opinion. They proved how many people on our campus care about Superb and who care to protect and amplify our creative and artistic spaces on campus, and especially our queer spaces here on campus. They absolutely succeeded, in my opinion. As the ACC, we are supposed to advocate and fight for our student body, even when it is difficult, even when it means that we might have to work a little bit harder. That is our job. I hope that in the future we can continue to work to show our support for all student groups on campus, and that we can work with Superb directly to help them find new funding avenues and show them that the ACC does in fact support them, and that we will help all groups succeed on our campus by all means necessary. Thank you.
But we can raise your hands one by one and I'll call on you speak. Senator Senator Beasley, you can go and then Senator Cannon will be after.
Hello. I'd first like to take a few moments to reiterate a few key points because I still feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding about what the Senate's decision actually represented. Firstly, in regards to the statement regarding my comments was totally wrong. I was speaking as an individual about my point of view. Again, speaking as an individual, I'd like to say there's no doubt that the campaign or the decision violated many campaign rules and regulations of the ASUC. I appreciate every elected member here for being a collaborator on that post, for using their individual Instagram accounts, shows that they have an understanding of the rules and regulations, but still allow the official ASUC resources of the Instagram account for Berkeley Media and ASUC Superb to be used to spread this petition, which is a pretty clear violation using ASUC resources to campaign. Alongside many spam email lists, spamming in Slack channels, things along those lines. And I want to point out that there was a judicial council case in progress against the campaign and its primary sponsor prior to it failing, as seen as the March 17th judicial council meeting minutes. I would also like to respond to the issue of the timeline. Thank you for pointing out that the proposal was mentioned in December, and I'd like to point out that the proposal was added to the agenda through an emergency action, which we initially allowed by the passing proper review process that includes a 10-day waiting period for review. Which is important for immense financial considerations of which this entailed. This significantly constrained our timeline for amendments and limited engagement with students and other relevant stakeholders, such as senators who are responsible for voting on such matters, in which we had information for the plans of students of the ASUC math or extension of time.
No, I think we're gonna keep it as 2 minutes now, sorry, but we can come back around after others get to respond. Yep. Senator Cannon is next.
Hey y'all, can you hear me okay? Yeah, so I don't have a prepared speech, but I just wanted to say thank you to the Spirit community for being here. So beautiful and powerful for you guys to, be here and, to hear directly from y'all. When I voted in support of this bill, my stance was clear. Cal students and student body has the right or deserve the right to vote on this, and it is totally up to the student body to decide whether or not, to pass this. And my stance was clear on that. I really commend Superb's incredible work for the student body, specifically for the retention of students. As a first-gen student myself, I really appreciate having spaces like my shirt, so bringing everyone together. It just gives you so much joy and spirit to be able to be on this campus and be in community. And I really appreciate Superb's work on that. Totally commend y'all for all the incredible work. I will continue to advocate for y'all alongside other senators to support you. I serve on the finance committee, which processes deliberations, and will continue to advocate for y'all in these spaces and reach out to us if you need any support moving forward. But I just want to say thank you for such incredible work, and your efforts are not unnoticed.
Senator Yates first, and you'll stop Senator.
Awesome. Hi guys, thank you so much for coming today. I just want to continue picking up Colton's points. I just want to specify that in our meeting, we wanted to share that every single one of us in our Senate body agrees that Superb should receive an increase in funding and speak for current services. The disagreement that we all had as senators was not about whether or not as the court is warranted, but rather about the strategic implications of this proposal and the way it was brought forward, as we see it in our Instagram post that we released on Monday. This proposal would directly undermine ongoing work in the ACC that is core to the results of any commission. Advancing the measure of this bill in isolation created a situation which we believe as the ACC Senate to be extremely detrimental to not only the ACC, but also therefore ACC supervised education as well as other student organizations that ACC that is held under the ACC. I also want to point out that However, these is if you have reached out to Super to set up a meeting about pleasing Super's view on the ballot for next year, which they received no response. But I see why many here are happy, I see many here are happy to engage in communication at this point, and if needed, please reach out to any of us and we can start to go, to get going over the next steps. But again, also, yeah, so it should read our statement because I feel like that was really comprehensive context and exactly what things do.
Alright, and then Senator Lucy.
Hello, everyone. First off, I want to thank you all for being here. It is so important to express your frustrations and hurt from the Senate class. You guys are absolutely right. We are supposed to be held accountable, so I appreciate your guys' efforts to be here and to express the concerns. I do want to clarify a point in the beginning because I don't want anyone to feel like the Senate expected more communication with your guys' and that's definitely not why we made the decision we did. I wanna echo what was said, the reason why we voted this way wasn't even just because of the $8, it genuinely wasn't, there was other initiatives that have already been confirmed because of previous communications. And then we thought, okay, maybe having it in the next ballot cycle will be safer for both initiatives. Going back to the first, comment, it was mentioned that, you guys had already communicated this before, which I absolutely do acknowledge, you guys are correct. I wish as a Senate class, and for all of us, I think, to also reflect on, there should have been more communication amongst us, because the first time I saw the referendum was Monday, the first time I read about it was Monday, and we voted on it Monday, which is why the decision also felt more rushed. I truly do appreciate super herbs, and I do absolutely agree and echo that you guys need more financial support from the university. And I apologize that you guys felt so misheard, and I hope that the statement does give you guys any context. If you guys need more of a conversation or any sort of reflection, my email is aofnusi@acc.org. I'm always welcome to more meetings and conversations about this. Again, I thank you all so much for being here.
Senator Nunez-Garrett.
I just want to thank all of you for your time, the growth. Just for Stockton, I absolutely hear you. I'm also from Stockton, so you already know how we can do it. I just have to always mention it. But genuinely, like coming from a community that is underserved, and then coming into these spaces that gives us the opportunity to pursue what we want to pursue aside from what we're actually studying. Is incredibly important, and I just want to say that there are members of this association that advocated for you guys that night, and I hope that the decision that looked like it came from Senate as a whole, is not entirely reflective of those that did advocate. And I also want to really implore with you guys, to not cut relationships with those that do want to continue fostering relationships with you guys. For example, I really want to see this collaboration with the culture on the block and the HCC program continue on next year. We had a first partnership this year with you guys with Eagle, and that was incredibly successful and it really meaningful to me, especially because we had the highest turnout for our community, and that contributes to the cause that we also try to advocate for within our own community. So please, thank you all again for your time. Thank you for voting so much for coming here. We support you, we hear you. And again, I really encourage you guys continuing those relationships with those that did advocate for the community that did show up for you guys. Because we want to continue these relationships and we hope that they're not severed because of this decision. Thank you all so much.
Senator Coleman.
Okay, one last thing, thank you so much for showing out and, being able for what you guys do with Christ, so I really appreciate it. And obviously, this is something I just want to reiterate was the first that they did come December 3rd, we all look at our minutes in 3 years, we already talked about it. So I just want to make sure that we're being truthful about what we're saying, and like, nobody that's our fault, and should make the ball asset as well. And I do want to make sure that we are also respecting our charter programs. Obviously, the plan that bring out a lot of people in crosswalk for communities and campuses as well. I do want to piggyback on a couple of things said as well. I know as a senator, I said it, we are not shy of putting things like we've done a lot of emergency action. So let's not be hypocritical about that. It's just that we talk about. At the end of the day, it's not gonna pass this year, and every stuff, I feel very bad for super. And I'll look to work on an initiative with our president and VP side the next year. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys super for being here. Thank you everybody for being here and speaking up for what you guys need is right. At the end of the day, we will see the correct way of things working. We should have been so what he said, and this is not any offense to anything I said class here so as well. I appreciate you guys a lot, and obviously you went through that whole process together. And you know, we talked about in that whole session, like you want to make sure that what we're saying outside so as well is very accurate. So we'll talk about.
Okay, Senator Sanchez, you can first, and then Senator Mendez, we'll go. I want to say thank you all for coming out. I know our office worked on our own clean energy referendum this year, and it took over a year of discussion, we worked with admin, et cetera, got shut down way earlier. And that was enough, like that enough, it alone was exhausting. So I honestly respect you all for bringing it this far. I also want to bring up that there was a divestment bill introduced on Wednesday, not Monday, when the Super One came to XCOM on Monday. And you all had nothing to say about that. You had no concerns that was the first time you saw it on Wednesday, you all voted unanimously in favor. So kind of ironic, honestly. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming today. Really appreciate you sharing your voices. Next, is there a microphone on that side?
Hi everyone, I want to thank you guys all for being here. I know someone in the comment asked for an apology, and I'm here to give that. I want to sincerely apologize for not having voted in support of this initiative. I truly believe that superb work is essential to this campus, and I truly appreciate the time for you guys all coming out here to speak with the dedication and creativity you guys bring to this campus. Again, I want to reiterate that I believe in accessibility and transparency, and I believe that having this decision in closed session bypass all of that. And I specifically want to reiterate that with the information that was given and presented on the Senate floor, the decisions that were made should have continued to have more conversation and dialogue with students on campus. And I definitely just want to emphasize and thank you guys all for coming out here. I believe in accountability, and so I really thank you guys for holding us as student representatives accountable. And for me, having ongoing collaborations and having supported Superb, I definitely just want to take that time to apologize and be the first one to say that I am sorry, and I do want to continue working on these relationships and the way that the Senate carries on its relationship with the chartered programs. I just really want to re-emphasize and thank you guys for the work that you do on this campus. And again, thank you guys for coming out and for holding us accountable as a Senate class. Thank you.
Yeah, Senator, is there anybody that wants to speak before we go back to Senator's? Okay, Senator's go ahead. It's okay. Everyone wants to say. Any other response, general public comments? Right. At this time, we can move on to executive officer reports, or if anyone would like to call for recess, we can do that as well. Up to y'all. Senator Nunez-Rivera moves to recess for 10 minutes. There's a seconded by Senator Ty. Any objections? All right, seeing and hearing none, we'll recess until 9:20.
Please, right now.
Oh, then you have it in next year. Oh, yeah, because I can only touch it. Okay. But wait, Margaret. Yeah.
Right now? Yeah. I don't know if I need it. Wait, Sam. Wait, what about Chipotle? Chipotle. Okay, wait, but I need to see. if I meet them. Okay. I don't know. Wait, guys, I'm enjoying cosplaying like this is funny. But yeah, yeah. I feel like the resemblance is uncanny. Like you wouldn't be able to tell us apart. Me and Auntie. Here now. Well, yeah, you don't understand how difficult that was for me to not be like. Yeah. I guess. No, you're not supposed to. No, we were living. I was saying from here to say. I thought that was also dumb. Wait, that was also. Wait, hold on. I thought you had wanted something else. I was like, not something. I don't know. I was going into.
No, I saw that yesterday. Yeah, I saw her also yesterday.
I know. I feel like it's really pretty. It's broken. Yeah, like dangerous.
Were you aware of this, by the way?
Huh?
I was like, I saw it yesterday.
You think sleeping Oh, that was on me probably, yeah. Yeah, that would have been really sad, that would have been me. No, wait, yeah, I think she's the one that posted it. Oh, yeah, you're actually, yeah. I'm also, really need to work on it. I'm not doing shit. I'm literally going for, wait, yeah, I mean, I got a lot of county shout out. Wait, literally Orange County shout out. That's like, I love it.
We found out this week that one of my best friends from high school is like
My childhood best friend, like the one that I was hanging out with last week. And we have the same position, but in OP and OVP. And we're in the same class.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
I know what they were just talking about. Wait, yeah, that was so funny.
I'm heading out.
Should I ask Isha if I'm allowed to? Do you think there's any?
Well, I mean, like, whose job is this in the first place?
He's not here for because of these.
Oh.
Actually, that's why right now. That would make sense, even though it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
But what's the reason?
No, it's, well, yesterday was Fresh Engineering, which is like the jump over fire, and then Friday, I didn't know.
Wait, do you want to jump over as well? We'll light it.
Perfect.
Or DIY lighters.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Wait,
That is actually generally wow, I can't remember. My brain is not even.
saying you ate. Just one more say. Yeah.
I was literally on that bed. I'm outing myself, bro.
That's also right. That's right. Yeah. Okay, wait.
Peace.
Are you leaving? I came for the drama.
That's what I'm saying.
Our timers.
Can you ask? Yes, I was. I was running a tight ship right there. That was all me. No, wait, because.
Damn it. No, that's
okay. What if you come back after?
What if you pick me up later?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, wait, bye.
And then we'll go to the race.
Oh, don't play, of course. What?
If she not even home.
That was crazy though. They just got bitched out for you. Just got bitched. Like, where I was like, yeah. I know, yeah. I looked over and I was like, the gas station. It's not the shovel. I want
to today.
I know, wait, I don't know. Wait, yeah. It's because I miss Orshi. Like, this is me, like, this is me being like Orshi equivalent. Yeah, that was gag. That whole thing was gag.
And then it just she's like, you want to drive? I was like, yeah.
I'm working at UCSA on like.
Hey, we need to go.
Wait, ask Isha on my behalf.
Like I was having like committees because they were doing these aids this last meeting, like nobody showed up. Yeah. Like for the last meeting, nobody showed up. And yeah, I know. And like no one showed up, and then I've been like saying like, oh, like come prepared because we should do some of your Facebook package, what we want to like, log in for, like advocate for. It's like the first few things like whatever. So it's like I can say that like I was like actually do all this stuff things like that, and I just like.
I feel I don't know enough about the Senate to know if I can leave. I feel like I can. Actually, really sucks. Should I get to tap in? Nobody cares. Nobody cares enough to block you against things that your girl does. Oh man.
Throw my eyes.
Huh? I like the hair though, it looks fine. Wait, then are you sure you want to get lashes too?
No, I got some fucking cancer. And I was like, you guys can't see my eyes.
How did you get one though?
Okay, seriously. Exactly.
I thought you said you just end like. I feel like if like I wouldn't, then Keisha or Selena would because they're actually chiefs. They just want to hear what you. Oh, like I didn't know how to rap. What makes them into it? Like, oh, thank you. I thought. I feel like it's. I think you can leave. But if not really. I mean, I don't care. I just like if I leave, I don't feel bad to not go to work. It's just really well before it's like we're about to start and you're like, oh, he's right. Yeah, fine. Well, wait, I don't want to just like where's Keisha? Oh, where's Keisha? Like, what if we go ask Selena if she can? Well,
Okay, I'm calling this recess to end. We're gonna get started again. All right, so next item on the agenda is executive officer reports. We're gonna start with President Abigail.
Yeah.
Okay, well. Maybe just talk. Yeah, sure. Yes. Also, if you're presenting slides, send them to Senate Admin Assistant, she can link them. He was like, oh, oh, okay. Oh. Oh, yeah, oh, it was just. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, hello everyone, my updates for you, but they're a little kind of so yeah, since I spoke. And we finished allocation for PhDs, we can right back, in the next year or two on your application. And then we're going to community breakfast, but we had to check in this morning, Brady and I, we're gonna have a chicken, so we're gonna have a hash try to be word, for Australian national students and also just international students as well. Met with student, business development committee, already further partnerships with the university business partnerships for, committee and how it will look like with the partnership union. Also wanted to move on again, I had the board visitors meeting, with Harris, he's, finished or something out there, so, for, all the different funds that we have here at Berkeley, and met with Sunny and June president Sandra. So what we wanted to present to me, Medina gave more of a high level, kind of, you know, information about it last week, but I sent out an email just today, so if you, thank you to Isha and Token AD's office for sending over, your issue areas, what we'd like to include essentially for the visitors, kind of like the kind of revenue arm of the Chancellor's Committee, so this is really great opportunity for us to leverage our science presentation, actually give student points. And we have casting meeting last 2 days, we have the schedule next week, we may have the televisions. But with part of that meeting with a weekly schedule. Upcoming student affairs, the ACC monthly meeting with Isha, is student where there's Isha as well. ACC in June, we check in with Sunny Lee, the students, and was very him. Invited each of them to do the transfer meeting, so that anyone has feedback about the transfer meeting, if you thought it was productive, you might get at least let it out very sure someone know. We want to make it more productive for next year. Council President, we're preparing for our UC Boston representative visit, with President Logan on April 14th and 15th here, in Oakland. So we're having a committee meeting to kind of convene as to our priorities are for the UC system as well as the transition. How is getting with the vice university planning, and then how are you today? I'll be speaking as a panelist as a research student, so very exciting. Wanted to share some of our events. We had a community research session. It was really great. We have a transfer research tomorrow, and it's from Ollie Posh, Gigi, and here are more dates that we're working on. Feel free to just take a look. Some of the other minutes if you want to take more in-depth look. I also want to flag, you all are part of the initial strategy sessions in December, but this is now a more open way for the rest of the university to get involved with the strategic plan. I think we're already, the strategic plan is for the chancellor and basically mapping out the next 10 years of service that he is for this university. So, the first focus group is on March 19th, which is a unit session, and this is open to really all students. So if you were like, okay, like, I enjoyed it in the chat session where I thought it was productive, refer like, your chief staff to attend, or refer someone in your community who's not involved in the ASUC to attend this event, because it's a really great way to, again, leverage students, listen to all that. Cool, one more I'll just quick. Okay, yeah, I'll be saying where the visitors, so please just respond to say no. Cool, are there any questions? All right, thank you.
You know, it's so sweet, I that you're on the yoga panel, because I remember the first AC visual I ever saw last year, and I come on panel when I was at yoga, and I'm going to sit here. Full circles. Okay. Okay. Crazy, it's week 9. I'm a senior, so it's just like, whoa, you're month and a half left. We had a cool week this week. Just want to share some photos. Last Thursday, we hosted our ASU trivia night. Shout out to everyone that came. Shout out to Senator Yang for your office one. Their name was Jada's Minions, like in the trivia. Yeah, shout out to everyone. They got a trophy for it. And then we raised money for the Immigration Institute in the Bay Area. We also did our 4th and last, I guess, like loud guard on the sustainable runway. That was really fun. I like thought of this idea when I was a senator because it's National Recycling Day. First one was in the Senate chambers, and now it's like completely taken on like a whole cool life of its own. So that was really great to kind of, I don't know, just see their experience. And then also I got to meet with a famous actress, and I moderated a panel with her yesterday, or not him, but it was a moderation like fireside chat. Shout out, I know Ray was there, shout out Red was there too. But yeah, it was really cool. We talked about like what being a South Asian woman means, especially like representation in media and how complex like South Asian and Asian identities are. So it's really awesome. And Sunny asked me to moderate, and I was really honored. I was like, oh, okay, like South Asian, South Asian ladies. Okay, we passed through resolutions last week, cost allocations are done, and like people who are funded are getting all their disbursements down. We passed the investment one, and then the billionaire tax, we're up to 19 resolutions now, and we have one coming at you hot. If you're curious about it, feel free to read it, let me know if you have any thoughts. It's a little bit like complicated, like, so just let me know if you're confused about what it is. It's basically withdrawing like a allocation that we committed to some number of years ago to like a HOS fund. And I'm like removing the allocation because it's like $10,000 per year, and I think it's unnecessary. And that way we have more money for CASA. And then, yeah, let me know before the end of the year. Now is the time. Like, let me know now, this week, ideally, if you have any like operational things or resolutions you'd like to pass, like before the end of the year, so I can help you with them. If you're just like, oh, there's this thing in the HCA and don't like how it works, like let me know. We can work together to make sure we have enough time to pass it. And yes, and then upcoming programming, Birthday Bazaar is April 1st, 5 to 8 p.m. to 4 Senate. So I won't see you all before that. So please come, and I'll give you a big hug next Wednesday when we get back from the break. After Birthday Bazaar, and I'll probably cry once again. And then we have multicultural fair, we have that, April 10th, please come out, it's really fun. We're gonna have a bunch of artists there as well. And then we have a integration ally training that we're doing with USAC and USP. We're gonna like help them with, getting moving in things for like RSOs to learn how to like hellize to the end of the community on April 17th, and then we're gonna go through programming in April. Some updates. FAFSA initial allocations were finalized. My space team did a great job with that. And now we'll be doing appeals and GovCom and everything like that. The agency budget memo will be sent to Central Campus this week. Thank you to the budget committee, Isha and Sydney, everyone who's on that committee. The impact tracker is now on acp.org. So you go to acp.org. It's been a long tenuous, but it's been a long process that's complicated. So if you go to ac.org, click on our impact, the impact tracker is now on there. And this is a general reminder to fill out your impact tracker reports for this semester too, so they can be reflected on the Our Impact page in the future. And then ACC Alumni Advisory Board is being formed. So the ACC Donor and Alumni Committee that we formed this year is now going to have like a panel of ACC alumni to advise. Yes, shut up. Yeah, so like we're trying to do what we can to engage alumni more with our associations. There's gonna be like a board that we meet with maybe twice a semester moving forward. It's kind of like, oh, we think about the ACC. These are all meetings I have studios, so. Good times, I filmed videos with like 3 different things this week, I did a milkshake yard. I filmed a tour of the student meeting with UC Berkeley on Route 10 and did a video with housing and sustainability to advertise this kids. I mean, Bella are doing a video too, I'll put that out. These are my contacts. And that's all I got. Are there any questions about anything? Yes, and then, yes, do let me know if you have any feedback about the chancellor meeting. All right, great, thank you guys so much. All right, next up, we have academic affairs vice president, we have a designee, Jonathan here today. Oh. On my UP.
Both, yes. Alright, folks, thanks so much for being here. I know it takes a lot for you guys to be here. Shout out to you guys. But yeah, here are some of our administrative meetings for this past week. This is just an echo that academic affairs vice president office is the chief advocate regarding academic policy. We do have a lot of meetings. We have a lot of meetings with the chancellor, with regarding academics. We have student affairs, kind of all that jazz. We don't really get much collaboration with senators, I oversee those collaborations, I know that yours about to, close, but if you have anything, please reach out, that's the one thing that, I wish we had more collaboration on, or more willingness to collaborate, but yeah. Let me find this. Okay, yeah, administrative meetings for the week, we have met with, Brett. Brett Abbey and our office met with Vice Chancellor Jim Baird, the registrar and Oliver O'Reilly. That was an interesting meeting, it was really good. We talked about our past I dropped deadline as well, also to the co-curricular record, which is really great. We had a meeting with the academic senate chair, Mark Stacy, but also to next year's chair as well. For those of you who will be in the association next year, the next academic senate chair is involved in the student school of education, so that's really great. That's a really big win. Jenny was able to attend Paxton, I think that must be Paxton. Yeah. Paxton on the 17th and the 18th, and then we have Capra on the 18th. If you have any questions on these, a lot of these are based off of review, academic reviews, and things like that. And but also too, I wanted to wish you guys all a happy spring break, but also too that we're meeting with the Berkeley School of Education on spring break, so that's what I will be doing on my spring break. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know, but also too, sorry, I have one more time. Policy updates. So basically, the Council of Undergraduate Deans meets tomorrow, the 19th of March to vote on the ad hoc deadline. Thank you for those of you who did your due diligence and reached out to the academic senate or Oliver O'Reilly's office. And also too, thank you for everyone's unanimous approval of the resolution and letter. Our team worked really hard on not only drafting the letter, but also to doing all the research and coding and analysis. It's really hard for social sciences and for me personally to do coding, so thanks. But yeah, we met with Senator Beardsley and Transportation Representative Debbie Gale on transfer and international articulation. Also do shout out Rain, thank you so much, we appreciate it. With the Vice President of Academic Planning, and we're going to be taking that on community also to including community college questions and academic program reviews or APRs. If you guys didn't know, the university does academic program reviews every 10 years. So we're trying to make sure that we kind of modernize that and give support where it is needed. Also, too, we're working on a timeline in which articulation is processed. So from the very second that specifically transfers are admitted, it isn't until December that their kind of articulation is known. So I mean, the INC kind of process isn't finalized until really late, so it kind of disproportionately affects transfer students, and that's what we're trying to do. But yeah, that is everything on our end. If you want to email me anything, please let me know. But if you guys want to email me, chief, I oversee all relations with the ASBC, so. You'll probably, you like to. Yeah, any questions?
Questions?
Next up, we've got the one and only, the kid for students. No, kind of release myself a little bit.
What did you say?
The one who the advocate.
Oh, wait.
I guess not people who advocate, but you're like.
Okay, let me see if I can get to the work. For a second. Okay, beautiful. Hi, everyone. I know it's late. I'm happy to see everyone. For one last time before we have a little break for the spring break, hope everyone has some super fun and cool plans for the next week and also getting some well-deserved rest. You guys all deserve to take care of yourselves and hoping that you guys are all doing that. Super quick updates from me, nothing too in depth, going over some past meetings that I had. The most prominent ones are definitely policy meetings. Meeting on STSF as well as undergrad mutual aid fund. We restarted some meetings about this just to go over some of the progress done of the mutual aid fund over this past year, as well as how we want the mutual aid fund to look over this next year as well, and potential options for the mutual aid fund to expand in the future. We also met with the Tennis Student Center. That was a really fun meeting that we had. Just to talk about some specific trends that we're both seeing within our offices, especially like as we're learning some trends that we're seeing for trans students in casework. A lot of these trends have to do with like discrimination, club discrimination, like when it comes to RSOs, we get a lot of like students that are transfers coming into the office, talking about these instances of discrimination, and then also some folks in the trans center will also relate with same sentiments, then also talking about some of the academic difficulties that a lot of trans students face at Cal, especially when it comes to being able to promptly take their classes on time, just because there's a lot of delays for trans students when it comes to having like their coursework from another separate institution, especially community colleges, uploaded to Cal Central on time. So it was a really interesting meeting and it was a long one, but it was really good to be able to connect with them again. We haven't had a consistent relationship with them over the past few years. And then also met with AAP office, specifically Jonathan as well as Dylan, to talk about some progress for gaps in the future and what we want that to look like, especially in some of the funding constraints of the project as of now. So it was good to be able to kind of go over that. And then the fun meeting that I had last Friday, I met with the student advocate from 2002. So the student advocate from before I was even born, and it was super cool to be able to chat with him. He actually worked for the Obama administration a few years ago. Like his LinkedIn picture, like him shaking hands with Obama. I'm like, what is that? But it was cool to be able to chat with him. He talked about how the office was like when he was an executive. It was only like 35 people, was large, and now it's expanded to 93. So it's just really nice to be able to chat. But yeah, it's super cool. And then upcoming events, we're also meeting with Cal Veteran Services. There's a caseworker within the financial aid division in my office who wants to specifically work on like a Cal Veteran policy project and like supporting Cal vets at UC Berkeley, especially when it comes to like financial aid issues and any academic or scholastic issues that Cal vets may face at Cal. Also meeting with the Trans Center again, just to follow up on some of the things that we were talking about as action items. Then also met with some folks from the RJC to talk about the future of that. I went over that a lot last semester, talking about the restrictions, as well as like just the funding kind of they receive, to think how we can like further integrate them into the campus and see how they become a larger part of the university again. Also got invited to the UVA Research Fair to present some of our services, so we'll be going to UVA again. Really love UVA, the community there, so it's nice to be able to connect with them whenever. And then also for Cal Pals, reached out to us about an internship collaborations and kind of create an interest from people within our office. And then again, meeting for mutual aid funds for that. And then this is a super cute photo of my chief and little computer in the office. We had some fun at the day in Korea. We were really supposed to win, like there was an issue, like our technology was glitching, but we were really in the lead. And then but no, it was super fun. I was super happy that they had lots of fun. I couldn't make it sadly, but yes, super appreciative of them, love them. And then, yeah, also, if you have any university, of course, you can contact me, one of my chiefs, whenever, and then you also have our hotline and help us. So yes, thank you. And then, are there any questions? Okay, good.
Good night.
Good night.
Alright, so there, is there anybody? Next up, we've got commission chair reports, and we have the lovely housing commission here today.
Okay, I'm gonna make this super quick. Oh, wow, okay, awesome, a little bit scary. Okay, hi guys, I'm Abby, I am the co-chair of the ASC Housing Commission, and I'm gonna make this very fast. Sorry for presenting late again, my co-chair is an architecture major and got out no sleep, and I found out that I might be allergic to coffee because I was starting, so that's not fun. But at least I'm almost graduated, so I don't need coffee anymore, yay, my switch to matcha, so I'm not saving money. Okay. I was for our meetings. I want to give a shout out to Claire, she's right over there. Yeah, the other one is Brandon, she's not here, but I just wanted to shout her out. We also had a commission social, which never happens because we're all super busy, and we went to the 3 Point Cafe to play games, and it was super fun. And we had so much fun, I didn't code, so it's not here. Okay, research updates, the housing action plan is almost done, literally the text is done, we just didn't make it pretty. And for our research team, we're gonna do a advocacy project on making university more transparent about housing, but that kind of hit that end, long story short. So instead, we're making a detail for next semester, yay, about how we have this in we got the okay from someone in the ASUS that can do that, and we're talking to the Cal Habitat for Humanity because they already have a housing crisis decal, so we didn't want to like make it the same thing. So yeah, moving on to events, we had our first ever lease matching event on the 16th of February, which is super cool. We had like 25 people show up, which is pretty good because we decided we wanted to do the event the week before it happened, so pretty successful. I ended up actually giving my apartment of 3 years to one of my commissioners, which is super cute and exciting. And coming up this semester, we have our annual housing action forum on, oh my god, April the 3rd, my goodness. And then tenants are still tentative right now, but it's probably gonna be the last week of April. And we're thinking about hybrid models, having some things online, some things in person. And social comms, Claire started with social comms, she's got enough experience here, she's an awesome leader of social comms. So she and her team made a post, made a team's post, a real like doing some interviews with some of our commissioners in the works right now. Wow. We are updating our website. We're switching back to the free version that the ASUC gave us initially, but it's kind of difficult to manage, so we'll figure that out. And then we're starting. We're probably gonna change it to housing for all instead of Berkeley is home, but our chair last year, Florence, is a really good artist, she drew that, it's really cool. And I'll put it in the front pocket and this time feel that because I love merch. And that's it. Okay, any questions? Yes.
Oh, I have a question. So, sorry. So one of the meetings we did on campus, we talked about like the driving initiative. And so we were talking about the university's kind of like relationship with like the new 2-year guarantee. Like, is the housing commission like released some language, anything specific that I guess like I can address like so we can address like all of our committee members on certain things or like kind of how like our office by housing is so much a part of like our even performance. So just one.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Housing is the baseline for literally everything, so that's why I'm here. We have not released a statement on that, but please contact us via email, also if you want my number directly, I can also get that to you, but yeah, we have not released a statement. Any other questions? But yeah, if you want to collab with anything, I will be here tomorrow, this is just crazy, but I would love to help out as much as possible, so yeah, thank you guys.
All right, now we're gonna go ahead and move on to committee reports, so we'll start with finance committee with Senator Aller.
Not many updates from us, yeah, we're just kind of standard. procedure, and then, we kind of looked over one bill that's kind of, we kind of want to like context and discussion.
All right, and then XCOM, Senator Theron and Senator Maimon aren't here, so is anyone from XCOM able to provide the update? Yeah, Senator Chen.
Alright, I think we only have two resolutions on our agenda. This week, one was the bill by Hilton that was ultimately tabled at HICOM, so that's first, we talked about it, it's got a little bit more conflict from Hilton on that one. And then the second one was the stand town activity, where I was able to provide a lot of context and I gave her arguments support, so I'll let you over the end of this.
Okay, thank you. And then GovCom, so Senator Beardsley. Are you gonna do it? You want to?
Yeah, because I have set up.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, we had three bills. The first one, was, as our 2679 on improving the website from. We passed all three of them, and then the second one was, modernizing, the International Student Affairs Committee, which is Springfield. That one, I don't think we had any, amendment for. And then the third one was, as our 2678, reversing nuclear energy divestment, ACT investment portfolio, also cold still. And we passed, well, I think we had a few like, technical amendments to make, but, all three of them passed.
All right,
Thanks.
yeah.
So we had a third bill from us in, as our new company says, that support re-introducing legislation to establish the California, commission. But yeah, I don't know if it's on that.
Okay, great. Thank you all. So now we'll go ahead and do public comment on the consent calendar and immediate consideration items. Are there any members of the public here who wish to give public comments? All right, seeing and hearing none, we're gonna move on to our next attendance roll call tonight before we vote on matters before the Senate. So when you hear your name called, please indicate you're present. Starting with Senator Amnusi. Here. Senator Alrive. Here. Senator Beardsley. Here. Senator Cannon. Here. Senator Cho. Here. Chancellor Representative Jane Miguel, not present. Senator Golshani. Not present. Senator Macaro. Here. Senator Maven, not present. Senator Mendez. Not present. Senator Nunez Rivera. Here. Senator Rodarte. Senator Santos. Here. Senator Scott. Here. Senator Solomon and here. Senator Golshani is here. Senator Stankovic. Not here. Senator Reading. Here. Senator Theron. Not here. Senator Todd. Here. Senator Shui. Here. Senator Yang. Here. All right. So now we'll go ahead and move on to our business for today. So we can do consent calendar first. So is there a motion on the floor for tonight's consent calendar? Senator Yang moves to approve the consent calendar. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Nunez Rivera. Any objections? All right, seeing and hearing none, the consent calendar passes with unanimous approval. Now we'll go ahead and move on to immediate consideration. So we have three items today. We have SR 252687, which was put on the agenda in an emergency motion. SR 252679, the ASC website resolution, and then item C is temporary suspension of something in our bylaws. And so you guys can speak up. Which one you guys want to talk about? Yeah.
Start with it.
You want to start with item C, Daniel?
We start left.
Start with item A. Up to you all. Yeah.
I motion to open informal discussion on item A.
Senator Shui moves to open informal discussion on item A for how long?
5 minutes.
For 5 minutes. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Yang. Any objections? All right, discussion is open. Okay.
Yeah, I have a comment.
Can somebody pass the mic over? Yeah.
So, okay, I just wanted to give a little more context about this bill, since it was introduced as an emergency item. The Keeping STEM Act of 2025 was a federal level bill, that I am going to lobby for with the EAP's office next week in DC, and that is why we wanted to pass this resolution before our trip. And just some more information about the federal bill itself. Keeping STEM Talent Act was designed to open up a pathway toward green card and naturalization for international students with advanced degrees in STEM. And because that international students at Berkeley are majority STEM students, and a lot of them are seeking to stay in the US and just began seeking employment after graduation. Keeping STEM Talent Act would provide an easier way for them to acquire citizenship. And this is something that's kind of new in the immigration policies regarding international students, because currently international students are required to demonstrate an intent to not stay in the US after graduation, which is a waste of international students' talent and also very difficult for employers who want to keep international students. So that's just about the bill itself, and my resolution is asking for agency support for both the bill and also our lobbying agenda.
Any other thoughts? We're in informal speaking, feel free to just voice them. Okay. If there's no other discussion, then we can motion to exit.
A motion to exit informal discussion.
Senator Shue moves to exit informal discussion, seconded by Senator Nunez-Rivera. Did you second? Yeah. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, we have exited. Is there a motion on the floor at this time for immediate consideration?
Can I open informal discussion on item SR 2526 posted on
Senator Beardsley moves to, how many minutes?
5 minutes.
Senator Beardsley moves to open informal discussion on item B for 5 minutes. Is there a second? Second by Senator Yang. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, discussion is open.
All right, okay, so this is just basically adding a small amendment to this resolution not already been committee. It was passed, basically just changing the wording on one of it and adding Schlupp as a co-sponsor. I already said that in English or that admin office. I don't know, I said they. You want to bring up both, like relatively small changes. And I can also elaborate on it.
So, Senator Beardsley wants to add a co-sponsor. That's the amendment. Any other thoughts on the resolution? No thoughts? Okay.
Wait, would you also be able to change the title back how it was? I just had it in this, so I can find it differently as the actual.
Yeah, let me just make a copy.
All right, those changes will be reflected. Since relatively simple changes, we can continue on while Isabel does that. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Well, we're still in informal discussion on this item, so up to you all if you want to continue discussing or exit.
That's it. I don't know, exit.
Senator, so moved by Senator Beardsley, is there a second? Second by Senator Nunez-Rivera. Any objections? Okay, we've now exited. Is there a motion on the floor?
I motion that enter into discussion on this.
So moved by Senator Beardsley. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Nunez-Rivera. Any objections? Matt, you have an objection? It's not. All right, seeing hearing none, we're now in informal discussion on item C for 10 minutes.
Alright, I just wanted to explain this because it's kind of a funny procedure. Reason I'm making this up on technical help, that's right now working by your asset. So instead I'm gonna discuss this. Earlier this year, as part of Golden Bill, I'll give 5 minutes, I can talk about this too. They were introduced stipend caps, which were caps placed to level stipends for all primary and secondary officials. They replaced in order to refresh and allocate more funding for public financing and that Jonathan has determined that there is enough room in the budget without that. And that the stipend caps, he would like to go a little bit for specifically commissions. It's a weird procedure, but specifically suspending that portion of the bylaw. So there's no caps. It does not obligate anything. That's where the ask package will be Senate. It's specifically just suspending the cap until May 2026 to allow Jonathan to conduct apps as necessary. That's the procedure. I'm willing to take any question. I don't know what you're saying. Also. Okay.
Yeah, so the intention of the stipend caps originally was to kind of do two things. It was one, set all commissions on an even playing field, because there was one commission, I just don't know by name, but that like had a higher stipend, and it didn't really figure that necessarily like, they were allocated on higher stipend than other ones. So one, it was kind of formally set a like top line amount that all the scheme, and then secondarily just kind of like institutionalizing that concept so that senators can more easily, rather than go through the ASTA process, be able to then make changes to stipends in that top line number as kind of time goes on and maybe people want to propose adjustments. So it kind of sets up that framework as a whole. And then how I specifically came up with the money for the public campaign financing, because I understand that we are currently, in a financial circumstance, that I lowered those stipend amounts from whatever they were to make up the money that would have been required to then fund the public campaign financing for this next year. Jonathan has gone through the ASTA process, like you mentioned, and said that money's kind of already there, so that the extent to which that resolution went isn't necessary at this point. But yeah, it's kind of added context as well. Does anyone have any questions or additional comments?
But yeah, that is the main motivation. This is just something that Jonathan and I are working on to get flexibility. If you have any questions, please do post them now. Are there any on it? Sure.
Yeah, so if approved, what you all would be voting on is the suspension of this like regulation or bylaws, so that Jonathan doesn't have to listen to it in the apps process essentially.
I was gonna say, in the motion, do we want to have it, or like, as it is on immediate consideration, to include the specific thing?
Yeah, we can, or is welcome motion to just add until May 2026.
Sweet.
Jonathan. I know you're also the other sensitively made, because that's on ads, it's made over.
The reason why I asked is if like, I feel like. Chief point, but you might have like important. Yeah.
Monica, we have the issue.
We have Sigmund.
Wait, are you asking me like how it affects like the next?
Well, yeah, but also just regarding the fact that like, if it gives like, there's like end date, like.
Wait, we're in discussion and I request that you have a microphone for the recording.
Yeah. Yeah, so in just the question would be just to put each of the consideration of just stipends for next year, but also too. Since if you guys didn't know, the chief appointed to get sworn in earlier than the rest of the senators, so just kind of like, to what extent does that go for it? I know Jonathan and Jane and I is kind of doing the proposals, if we've been doing just kind of just more clarification on like, if like. That is until like, ISC or like, ISC is chosen like in technically May, so like kind of that operation, but which is.
I mean, maybe too small, but also I think as long as the app is like finalized and finished, it shouldn't like affect it after that, because the way the like site and cap works, I can't just like site we have, and then we're like, all right, your site is no longer allocated. So it would only work in the next year, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I tried to that's one thing, right?
But I mean,
A question I got was also just at the end of the school year, year 30th, that they already started. Up to y'all, I think the overall intent is fine. Which would be for the end of the school year, or just specifically May 15th, that the school year.
I mean. Like, I think if, like, since like APSA is like by the end of the fiscal year, we can just say that, cause I mean. Senators and ones are going to move out and we don't have a fiscal year, so maybe like. We'll wait until since then.
Yeah, so. Okay, we amend to add until June 30th, 2016.
That'll be after item C. Any other thoughts or questions? If not, smile upon a motion to exit.
I motion to exit.
So moved by Senator Beardsley, seconded by Senator Scott. Any objections? All right, seeing and hearing none. We've exited, and are there any motions on the floor at this time?
I motion to pass item C.
Senator Beardsley moves to approve item A and item C and item B as amended on immediate consideration. Is there a second? Second by Senator Nusi. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none. Sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. I was mixed up. No objections? Okay, then it unanimously passes. All right, now we'll go ahead and move on to new business. All right, so starting with item A, SR 252676. That one will be going to External and University Affairs Committee. SR 252684, that will be going also to XCOM. SR 252685 also will be going to XCOM. SR 252686 will be going to XCOM as well. SR 252688 will be going to FICOM. SR 252689 will be going to GovCom. All right, now we have entered announcements. So every senator will have 3 to 2 minutes to give an update about their offices. I will tap my gavel when you're at 15 seconds left. And we can go ahead and start. Yeah, you'll pass the mic down to Shannon.
Hi all,
hi guys, thank you guys so much for coming. Those of you that came to Megashaw, it was a huge success. We had a little under 500, I think it was like 490, like 3 or something. People there, like one table of 7 or one table of 10 that had their 3 people left. So like huge success. It was on the day the chancellor spoke, it was great. And yeah, happy spring break, guys on the festival and honestly.
Hope it's a great break, days for me, and I'll see you guys soon. Great week. Bye, guys. You too, go home with you.
Yeah, it's been a really quiet week on my part. But anyway, so this past week I attended the oversight committee to kind of discuss my ACC website overall resolution, which yet again I mentioned it's mostly a kind of symbolic list of kind of ideas and suggestions of things ways to go forward in terms of the ASCC website, and then I have my office also reviewing that and see the help with the implementation of. And then I also had a call with just talking about possible reforms and his ideas on the matter, since he probably knows more of the technical side of this thing itself. And those conversations were mostly in line with what happened in the committee for those who were there as well. And then I also met with, as someone mentioned earlier, Dylan, a chief of staff, alongside Joshua, and talked about some issues concerning post-circulation agreements. kind of just outlining some of the concerns that regional students have to give them kind of better scope and understanding of the issue so that you can to people in families. Yeah, yeah.
Hi everyone, thank you so much. I just want to say that March is Self-Harm Awareness Month, and with that, I really want to bring, to mental health. And given our respective roles as senators and being in a public platform in a public space, I wanted to recognize that at the end of the day, we're all human, and we all go through things mentally. And I really would like to urge for the Senate class to be in support of everybody and one another, and to always check in on each other mentally in any space, not the capacity. And just given the light of recent political news and things with that, I also want to stand firm support of survivors and women of sexual assault and sexual harassment. It really is like to condemn and to hold accountable these men and these powers, and specifically with power dynamics and complexes, and women are often scrutinized when it comes to movements, and when it comes to positions of powers, they're often criticized and but under even more judgment and light than men do. And I just really want to bring awareness to everything. I know our association in comparison to things like bigger movements politically, it's not comparable, but given that so many women here are leading in the ACC, I wanted to also check in with one another and to also just prioritize mental health and the fact that we're students first. So yeah, thank you.
I yield your nothing.
Okay, I'll be really brief. Tomorrow, my office and Margaret's office were collaborating and giving out free bike logs of her sprout. So, well, if you want to bring bike logs, and then after spring break, after spring break, the International Student Affairs Committee is meeting on Tuesday. So if anyone wants to be a part of that, next week, let me know. Thank you.
I also yield my time. Take care, y'all.
I just want to mention that tomorrow we're deciding candlelight digital in honor of the many lives lost in Iran for very recent events. And I don't know.
Everyone, I'll also just keep it short. Tomorrow's the last day of Ramadan, and Friday is Eid, so it's more Muslim holiday to mark the end of Ramadan and pay out. So keep that in mind, and we'll also be having an incredible the day we get back from break with student union. So I love to see you all there, and we also have birthday bazaar on Wednesday with me, Villa, and Misha. And yeah, lastly, I just want to say, I'm glad we were able to hear super loud, really feeling with comment today. And really want to support the initiative for next year. Lastly, I just want to say, in the future, just an act not to use Palestine advocacy groups' efforts or divestment as a weapon to prop up or protect another referendum. These are two different referendums, one including defeat and one not. That's what I say. Thank you.
As you all very well know by now, and hope that you guys are moving by, anything pertaining to the Central Valley and something specifically is incredibly important to me. So I personally want to address the recent allegations against Senior Chavez, including those shared by the Hottest with this morning. I hope we can all take the time to decenter ourselves from the way we process and examine history. Notice what that is and has always been the real leader of the United Farm Workers Union. She advocated for women, immigrants, and intersectional communities far beyond the Latino community, especially in the Central Valley. And in Stockton, our community has a general saying. We say that we are rooted and we are rising, and Dolores Huerta continues to be rooted as she's given back to our community on several occasions. With her recent statement, she continues to prove that she's rising above the challenges that have historically marginalized her and other women of color alike. So I please ask all of you that if you're interested in joining the Central Valley in our efforts to empower our communities during these moments, please reach out to me specifically. And I want to thank you all for your time, and please take care of yourselves.
Hi everyone, I'm gonna make it brief quick. First, I just want to say shout out to be heard. That's a little time and saying it was better than Martin's pretty much. But the other, on Saturday, we had our Mystifying Blackness and Disability Summit in the BCC, UCF, which went perfectly and went beautifully. I actually met another senator who was also black and disabled and was a senator, early was a meter on UOT. She was amazing. Today our office had our Women in Higher Education National Today. And as Senator Schwartz said, we are doing the bike walk, which is funny because she put the boxes in the Senate lounge and she put one of them upside down. So I picked it up and everything fell out. I went from like, well, this is weird, right? And yeah, and then I met with the Associated Union of Students and teachers to talk about how they can reform how administration replies to community crisis, especially after the anti-blackness issue, and how they can better respond where communities feel like there's actually something going on. And tomorrow I'm gonna be meeting with Sunny Research to talk about the same, how to change the system. Because right now the system feels great for communities, a small amount, especially because we never get a campus message. So we're looking at how our vice chancellors can make sure they show up to those communities and make sure that those communities are heard. So it's very excited about that. And
Hi everyone, just one update for me. I know Burkett Bazaar is starting to come back for spring break and just be after that on Monday, April 6th. The Southern Station Community has one of our biggest events of the school year, the Taste of Southern Station Night Market. Last year we had like 400 plus attendees and hope we could take the spirit of lower Sprout. Like some of the things you look forward to, buying and supporting Southern Station Community on campus. We'll be selling beef skewers and pie salad, Thai tea, Thai glass noodles, kubo, milk tea, non-bun, calamansi juice, Korean hot dog or cheesy hot dog with a stick, we got all that stuff. A lot of different sea cultures, so I would love to see you all there. Especially as I always run up for, the different ultimate poetry community events as well for, everyone. I'd love for you all to stay for me. And then, just other than that, I want to echo what Spoon was saying. I love all you're doing, and I know that this is not an easy time for anyone. And we all have the right to express our own individual opinions and make our choices and our votes to the best of our ability and knowledge, and that's what democracy is. And I don't know any cyberbullying, not seeing or hate. So I just really wanted to show that love, and I really do deeply love all of you, and I never want anyone to think that we don't care about them. That is my fault, because I mean, I do, and I'm a really used person. I love talking out in person, rather than text. So I'm always here, and you can always call me and see. Thanks.
Alright, yes, we'll go ahead and run final call adjournment. Look, yeah, I was about to say exactly what Cindy said. I just wanted to commend you all for engaging in these governance structures. I know that they can be hard sometimes, and I appreciate you all showing up and being leaders in your own right, and participating in these structures that are meant to foster discourse and debate. So thank you all, and with that, we do our final roll call adjournment. Starting with Senator Andrew, Senator Alright, Senator Beardsley, Senator Cannon, Senator Cho, Friend Representative Bell, not present, Senator Golshani, here, Senator Makara, Senator Neyman, not present, Senator Mendez, here, Senator Nia Rivera, here, Senator Rodarte. Yes. Senator Sanchez. There's here. Senator Scott, here, Senator Solomon, here, Senator Sandy, not present, Senator Reading. Here. Senator Garan, not present, Senator Tai. Here. Senator Chile. Here. Senator Yang. Here. Third motion to adjourn. I motion to adjourn. Senator Scott, who's speaker, is seconded by Senator Yang. Any objection? This meeting is hereby adjourned at 10:20 p.m.